In this video, I'm going to show you how to pay off debt using the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. You know that when you pay off your debt, it helps you increase your net worth by reducing your liabilities. I'm going to also share with you a few tips on what may be best for you and an easy way to stay motivated to pay off debt. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mawuli Vodi with Financially Present. I make sure that your finances are the least of your worries so you can focus on whatever matters most in your life. And for me, that's my faith in my family. I just simply speak finance. First, let's start off with the debt snowball. And when you think snowball, think about momentum. Okay, so step one, I want you to stack all of your debt, credit cards, loans, whatever they are, from the lowest balance to the highest balance. Step two, you're going to make minimum payments on all of these different types of debt. Step three, I want you to target the smallest one first. And then step four, we're just going to rinse and repeat. The idea is that if you target the smallest one first, you'll be able to apply enough pressure and knock that debt out first. And then after that's done, you'll move on to the next smallest or the remaining smallest debt. And then you're going to rinse and repeat. You're basically going to keep doing this until your debt is paid off completely. And make sure you stay to the end because you're going to find out one really easy way that you can utilize either method. Because the debt snowball method is great and so is the debt avalanche. Now let's talk about the debt avalanche. Step one, I want you to list all of your different types of debt by the highest interest rate first, followed by the next highest and the next highest. Step two, I want you to make minimum payments on all of these different types of debt. Step three, this is where there's a difference. I want you to target the debt payment with the highest interest rate. And then step four, we're gonna rinse and repeat because after you pay off that debt with the highest interest rate, we're going to just move on to the next one. Okay, so in essence, we are paying off things that have the highest interest rate or the most expensive debt. We're just getting rid of that first. Now let's compare the two because when we look at the snowball method, it has an interesting way of appealing to the psychology of paying down debt. And a lot of people find this to be one of the better methods for them because it gives you the idea of quick wins. Okay, that momentum that you get from paying off a small balance first will move right in to paying off the next balance because what's happening is you pay off the smallest debt and then now whatever you are applying to that, you apply to the next smallest debt. So you'll find yourself knocking out debt left and right and there's no slowing you down. So it's much easier to attack debt from that perspective. Think about when you go to the gym over and over again, and imagine after about a week or so, you see that you lost a couple pounds. That's gonna motivate you to keep on going. It helps you understand that it's actually working. Now let's compare this with the debt avalanche method. See, this one, it seems very similar, but there's a subtle difference. Obviously, it's because we are ranking them in order of how expensive the debt is. And this actually matters a lot because when you think of it from a mathematical perspective, you're now dealing with logic. And I know money is not necessarily a logical topic for most people because there's emotions attached. But every now and then when you get to a certain point, you can actually think of it from a logical perspective and make your decisions from there. And mathematically, the debt avalanche usually will work in your favor. And we're going to go into a real life scenario and work through some numbers and you'll see exactly what I mean. So stay tuned for that. First, we're going to look at our debt and we're just going to lay it all out. And then we'll look at it from a snowball perspective and an avalanche perspective. So first we have a credit card balance of $500 and the interest on that's 20%. Then we have another credit card with a balance of $3,500. The interest payment on that is 26%. We have a car note with a $16,000 balance and interest is 6.5%. And then lastly, we have our student loans, a $25,000 balance with 7% interest we're paying on it. So now when we look at it from a snowball perspective, we're gonna pay off credit card A first, then credit card B, tackle our car note, and then lastly, knock out our student loans. And you'll come to find that as you're knocking out these smaller forms of debt, it makes it easier and easier to get closer to paying it off completely. Now let's take a look at it from the perspective of the Avalanche, where we're going to now, using that same form of debt, we're going to pay off credit card B first, then credit card A, followed by our student loans, and then lastly, our car note. And that's just because we're looking at the price of the debt, the interest that's being charged. And when we look at it from a mathematical standpoint, there is a difference. Take a look. You're gonna see that if we use the Snowball method, we're gonna pay a total of $9,877 in interest. But if we use the Avalanche method, we are going to only pay $9,543 in interest. So when we look at these two payoff methods, we're gonna see a difference of $334 as far as interest is concerned, with the debt Avalanche being the cheaper method to go along. But does that work for you? Who knows? If you want to look at your debt from this perspective and figure it out with this calculator, what method is better for you, feel free to look at the link below and you'll be able to calculate it really, really quickly. It's really easy to use. Okay, so here's my honest opinion about these two debt payoff methods. If you're new to investing or new to paying off debt or just getting started out and this is your way of knocking it out from the very beginning, the debt snowball is a great way to go. You know, imagine you are on the highway and you need a sign, something to tell you that you're on the right path. The debt snowball definitely does that, and it reminds you to just keep on going on that same track. And it's a healthy reminder that you can do something. It's honestly a pat on the back and something that will let you know that we can get this done, and you're probably less likely to go back to having that level of debt once you've worked so hard. Just imagine you're paying off your debt and then you get that statement in the mail that says you have a zero balance for your credit card, or you pay off your car and then the title is mailed to your home and it's free and clear. Like, those are some great reminders that, hey, what you're doing is working and you have some tangible proof. If you're not so new to paying off debt, but you need a different way to encourage yourself, just know that you're getting a better financial deal with the debt Avalanche though. So if you're more logical and you're looking for a deal financially, try the debt Avalanche method first. You're gonna pay less in interest and you'll be able to figure this out, whatever method you use, especially if you use this last trick that I have for you. If you really want to be encouraged when you pay off debt, whether you're using the debt snowball method or you're using the debt Avalanche, I want you to check your credit score on a regular basis. You can do that through a number of sites, but depending on where you bank, you can actually log in and see your credit score continue to increase as you're paying off this debt. And I promise you, that's just one extra way to boost your encouragement, the motivation, and the momentum that you need to knock out that debt. And if for some reason you're trying to figure out how to get started, how to get motivated to get this going, you need to start a budget. And what better way than to watch this video right here.